What's up everybody, Daniel here, back here with another coding tutorial, and in today's lesson we're going to be learning postfix expressions. We're actually going to be learning how to evaluate postfix expressions. So what exactly am I going to do? I'm going to demonstrate how you evaluate a postfix expression. Here, as you can see, I have a stack that's a data structure, and I'm going to be explaining how you do the manipulations, etc., and how you actually get to your result. And then after that, I have a piece of code over here. We're going to be using this file to actually implement the whatever it is that we're going to learn in that document. Okay, so let's go. All right, so actually very excited. So this is our postfix expression, and what we want to do is that we're going to keep adding elements into the stack, and then we're also going to be manipulating the stack until we only have one value inside of the stack. And once we have one value in the stack, we're going to return that value, and then that's our result. That's the calculation. So without further ado, let's get started. So assume we have a postfix expression, right? 2, 3, 1 asterisk, which is multiplication, a plus, a 9, and a negative. So just assume that it's a valid postfix expression, right? So how do we actually go about evaluating it and getting our answer? So I have values here which match these ones, and I have operators here which match these ones that are inside the stack, which are inside this expression. And then let me explain how this all goes down. So we're going to be adding elements into the stack. So whenever it's a number, we add it into the stack, and then whenever we reach a asterisk or positive, negative, or divide, so an operator, we're going to do some form of manipulation, and then the result of that manipulation we're going to add back into the stack. Let me just explain how we do this. So when we start, we're going to be looping through this string, right? So 2, 3, 1, so we're going to start. So it's 2 is a number, we're going to add it to the stack. We add it here. 3 is a number, we add it to the stack. So, and then 1 is a number, we add it to the stack. So we keep doing this until we reach a point where we have an operator, which is an asterisk or a multiplication, etc. And then when we do get to this point, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pop off elements from the stack, right? We're going to pop off 2 elements from the stack, and so we pop out 1, and then we pop out 3, and we place them like this, right? The second one being the one being the leader of the pair. So, and then we're going to multiply these 2 elements. So this will be 3 multiplied by 1, which will give us an answer 3. So that value, which is what this is equals to, we're going to add it into the stack. We add it into the stack, and then we're going to disregard these numbers over here, right? We're done with them. Now we continue. Plus, now that's another operator. What do? We do exactly what we did previously. We pop off 2 elements from the stack, and then we run the operator. So pop off 3, pop off 2, 2 being the leader, and then we take the sign, right? Oh, sorry, it's a plus. It's a plus sign. So we take the plus, we add them together, right? So it's 2 plus 3, that will give us 5. So we add 5 into the stack. That's our answer. Then we move on. Now we encounter 9. We take 9, we add it into the stack because it's a number, right? It's an operand. And then what do? We go forward, we encounter a negative. So if it's an operator, what do? We run the calculation. So we pop off 9, and then we pop off 5, 5 being the leader since it was popped the last, and then we take the operator and we place it over here. So now it's 5 minus 9, that gives us negative 4, and then we add negative 4 into the stack, and we're done with the expression, right? We've reached the end of the expression. And then what happens then? What happens now? It means that whatever's in the stack is our answer. And when you're done doing a postfix expression, when you get to the end of your expression, whatever's in your stack should be your answer, and there should be only one element inside of your stack. Otherwise the expression is not valid. So, but we're going to assume that the expressions that we use are valid. So with that being said, let's try and implement that with code, right? So here we are. So let me just explain what's going on over here, right? It's really easy. So we include IO stream. We're going to be using C++. I don't know if I mentioned that already. We include IO stream. And then we also include bits std cplusplus.h. This just includes, you know, strings and stacks. It just basically includes the entire STL library. And then yeah, then we have our main function over here, which I just declare and initialize a string. So this is our postfix expression, so it's just the string. And then I also call, because I created a function over here called evaluate, which takes in the string, which will be our expression, right? The argument is an expression, and so right now it only returns 0. So here in the main function we have result, so which will be equals to the evaluate. I'm just trying to make this a little bigger. The evaluate, so whatever we get from this evaluate function, we're going to store it in the result, and then we're going to output it over here. So when we run, compile, and execute our code, we should only get a number value, which will not most probably, but most definitely come from the stack, right? So without further ado, let's get started. So what is it that we actually want to do in this evaluate function? So we take in an expression, right? The string is an expression. Now what we want to do is that we want to loop through each and every single one of these elements inside of the string, and depending on if it's a number or if it's an operator, we're gonna do something, some form of manipulation. So let's get started. So let's first declare a stack, right? Because we're gonna be using a stack, right? std stack stack of integers. So we're using integers. Let me just name it my stack. I'm not gonna do anything with the stack because it's an empty stack, right? Remember, we start off with an empty stack, and then now we're gonna write a for loop, right? Gonna write a for loop that's gonna loop through this expression, the string over here. So we're gonna say standard for loop for integer I is equals to 0, I is smaller than the length of the string. So we're gonna keep looping the expression until we reach the end of the string. So that'll be expr, which is our expression, dot length, and then we're gonna increment I, right? So let me just do that. Alright, so now whenever we're looping through the string, we're gonna check is it a number or is it an operator. So we're gonna use an if statement. So if it's a number, if the expression expr is a digit, so actually what we say is that if is digit, right, the expr, the actual wherever we are in that string, which will start with 0, index 0 will be 2, and then 3, and then 1, etc. If it is a digit, then what do we want to do? We want to add it into the stack. So what are we going to do? We're going to say my stack dot push, and then we're going to push in the expr I, and that's not it. In other programming languages, this is most probably what you would do. However, this is C++, so strings, you actually need to convert them to actual numbers, because this is not a string. Oh, well, it is a string, but once you go through each individual element, you're going to go through this one is not a string and it's not a number, it's actually a character. So we want to do some form of conversion, and how we do that is that we just do this. That's how you do things in C++. In other programming languages it might be different. So we convert it, and now we actually make it a number, and then we push it into the stack, right? Now we've added it into the stack. However, let's say we don't encounter a number, we encounter an asterisk, a plus, a negative, or a divide. Then in that case we have an else statement. Else, if it's not a number, then we want to do some form of manipulation. Like I said, we're going to pop off 2 elements from the stack, right? So how do we do that? I'm going to create a couple variables here. I'm going to create a result, I'm going to create a variable 1, a variable 2, and then we're going to initialize those to this that I'm going to do. So integer result value 1, I'm just going to say val1, maybe value 1, value 2, and that's it. And then what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to initialize all these variables. So value 1, so equals to we're gonna pop whatever is in the stack. So actually we're not gonna pop first, we're gonna actually extract whatever is in the stack first before we pop the elements from the stack, right? So we're gonna say my stack dot what is it? Is it first? No, it's not. Is it first? My stack dot first. Not pop. Top. There we go. Jeez, forgot my syntax. Value 1 is set to the top of the stack, and then we're gonna say value 2 is equals to my stack dot top. But before we set that to top, we need to pop off the value. So for instance, if I have if I had 3 in here and I had 2 in here, I would want to pop. I want to get this value first, and then well, I get the value first. It doesn't mean I removed it from the stack, and then I'm gonna pop it off from the stack. And then now when I call the top again, it's 3. And then once I've done copying it, then I'm gonna pop it off. So that's why we're doing this. So I'm gonna say my stack dot pop right there, and then similarly here my stack dot pop, because we're done copying that these values, right? So now we're gonna have a switch statement. We're gonna check what exactly did we get, which value are we at? Are we at an asterisk? Are we at a plus? Or are we at a negative? Or are we at a divide? So we're gonna have a switch case statement here. So it's gonna be switch. So switch if expression I, right, our element that we're at, if that is equals to case any of these, right? So say it's a plus. If it's a plus, what do we want to do? We actually want to add the 2 values. So we're going to say result is equals to value 2, right? Remember, we start with the second value and then we add it to value 1. And then we're going to keep doing this continuously. And then once we have our result, we want to add it into the we want to push it back into the stack. Remember, once we pop, we do the calculation, and then we add it back into the stack. So we're gonna say my stack dot push. I remembered my syntax this time, and then we're gonna run a break statement. So I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna do this for code readability purposes. Result. So, and then I'm just gonna copy this code. I'm gonna keep pasting it over here, because I'm going to do this for plus, negative, multiple, and divide, right? So it's plus, negative, multiple, and divide. So if it's negative, so we're going to minus these 2 values. If it's a multiplication, we're going to multiply these 2 values, and if it's divide, we're going to divide these 2 values. And then whatever the result is, we push it into the stack, and then we call break, right? So with that being said, now our result, which no, not our result, remember our answer would be the element that is top of the stack after doing the entire evaluation. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to end up returning the end of the stack. So that's the stack, and then we run this for loop. The for loop ends here, and then at the end we're going to return my stack dot top, like that. And then boom, that's it. Let's try and run that code and see what it actually gives us. So I'm going to clear this out, and then I'm going to compile it in Cplusplus. Nope, let me just try and do this. Test.cpp. We're compiling the code. It compiled, and then we're going to run it. And then our answer is -4. And remember, our answer was -4 after evaluating this postfix expression. So guys, let me just go through the code with you guys one last time, just so that you understand, right? So I'm just gonna make this a little smaller. So what did we do? So we actually declared the string, which is our postfix expression. We declared and initialized the variable called result, and we taken whatever it returns, and then we output it, right? So in the function evaluate, what do we do? Parameters expression, right, which is the string. We declare stack. We create a loop. Now we're looping through each individual element inside of the expression, and if it's a number, what do? We push it into the stack. That's that piece of code right here. And when we push it, we just convert the character to an integer, and then we push it into the stack. However, if it's not a digit, then it means that it's an operator, and if it's an operator, this is what we do. We create a variable called value1. We add the top of the stack to that value. We add the top of the stack to the second value, right, after removing that value. And then once we have value 1 and value 2, we do some form of calculation. So we just check the expression. If it's a plus, then we add the two values and we push it into the stack. If it's a minus, we minus those two values and we push it into the stack, etc., etc. And then once we're done with this entire for loop, we're going to return this stack.top, and if your expression is valid, then this piece of code will work. And with that being said, guys, that's it from the video. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.